everyone. My name is Kayla Thomas, and today I'm going to be showing you how to add an expense forecast inside the Axcessa reporting tool. And you all would probably agree with me that it is the best time of the year to start forecasting for 2025. So there's no better time to do it. And there's no need to be spending countless hours building numbers inside of an Excel spreadsheet and then passing them around, pulling data out of your DMS system to try to see, what you spent historically in certain expenses. Access is going to take all of that work away from you. It's going to be so quick and efficient to add your expense forecast inside of our tool. So this will just take a couple minutes and I'll start sharing my screen and we'll get right into it. So you should be seeing the excessive reporting tool, and it is focused on the expense right now. We have different tabs up here. So we have our new car tab, used car tab, service parts, and then we even have a tab here for net adds and deducts if you want to forecast what you want to spend in those categories, things like other income and certain deductions. But what you want to make sure you do is have the correct year selected up top. So 2025, and then you're going to hit the add forecast button. And then from here, all you need to do is give this a name. So this is for our new cars. So let's just do test new cars expenses. And then hit add forecast. You'll see that it put my name on here and then it also put the date that I created this forecast. So I'm going to click into this hyperlink, which will take me right into my new car department expense forecast. But what's really nice is that before I get into the expenses, at the very top ribbon, I have a summary of my gross profit numbers. Those gross profit numbers is being pulled from my income forecast that I had put in earlier. And then from here, I'm going to hit that blue edit button so I can start getting into the expenses themselves and changing any numbers that I feel like I need to. You'll see that you can forecast the whole year. So it starts here with January. You can hit this little arrow and it'll open up some historical data. So if you want to see what your last 3-month average was in a certain expense or your last 3-month average, things like that, you'll just hit that little arrow. And then you can use your scroll bar to move on to other months of the year. So I'm going to keep the focus here on January right now. The summary tab, if you open that arrow, again, it's just gross profit numbers that we had pulled from your retail income forecast. And then if you want to open up the variable expenses, that's the first line in here that will allow you to forecast for. You can see the total expense spend in January for my new car department for variable expenses is $38,180, which is 37.19% of my gross profit percentage. This is up to you. Do you want to forecast by changing the gross profit percentage, or do you want to change the dollar amount? So either one is up to you. Just pick. I'm going to pick a percentage just for this exercise. I'm going to move this down to 35%. So that when I click off, will move the dollar amount down to 35,934. And then from there, you'll go into the subcategories. So things like compensation and incentive monies that you're going to pay your salespeople, interest on your floor plan, delivery costs. You can go in here and override anything that's in these boxes. Whatever you put in the boxes here are going to total up to this 35,934. So as you're adjusting things down below, it's going to ultimately adjust that top number here. If you want to copy a value over for the rest of the year, so interest on my floor plan and new cars is set at 17,000. If I want to carry this same number over, I can hit that little arrow and it's going to ask me if I want to copy this value for all the months in the year. So I'm going to hit confirm. That would just be an easy trick if you were indeed forecasting for the entire year all at once. You don't have to use that option if you don't want to. And then after our variable expenses, we'll go into personnel. Now we will open up semi-fixed. So these are the ones that you probably could agree you have a little bit more control over. So definitely take your time in this section. Outside services, training, office supplies, things like that. And then last but not least would be your fixed expenses. You notice that when I created this forecast and first opened it, all the numbers were already filled out, and that's because we pull your historical numbers and then you just adjust from there. So it's prior year numbers that you spent in these expenses, adjust accordingly from there. After that, you can hit save and you're already done with your new car department. It's that easy. Then you'd want to go back into the forecast section, go back to expenses, go back to 2025 and do the same thing for used cars, service, parts, and then we even have an option in here for net adds and deducts. After you forecast expenses for each of those tabs, and maybe you want to combine all of the forecasts that you just put in for expenses, all on the same report with gross profit numbers up at the top, hit that blue button that I just did. It's going to open up all your default forecasts for you, give you a nice little summary, January all the way through December, give you an average and a total of your gross profit. And then from there, you'll start seeing, here's your variable expenses. This is combined. All the departments we just did would be here. And then you can see the subcategories underneath of that. Let us take care of that for you here with Axcessa. Reach out to us. Thanks.